Hi everyone, it's Margaret here with 60andMe. Hope you're doing great this morning. Thank you so much for being here as always. I woke up this morning nice and early and I really do feel energized. It's sunny today. I love the sun. I don't know whether you're energized by warm weather or cold weather, but I love the heat. So I'm really, really glad it's warm. Anyway, I've got a cup of tea this morning, and perhaps this is what took me back there is I found this tea. I got it in a little assortment of teas called Organic Root Brew. And I didn't know what was in that until I looked at the back. And of course, it's got ginger and galangal. And these are both things that I tasted when I was visiting Bali 2 years ago. And it's in a drink that they make there called jamu, which is a health drink. It's like a juice that combines all kinds of cool things, tamarind, and every mother and grandmother has their special jamu secret recipe. Anyway, so this tea, root brew, didn't surprise me. I was thinking root beer. But it's actually the roots of ginger and galangal, which are both super good for you for arthritis, stomach problems, digestion. You know, like if you're on a train or plane and you're feeling a little queasy, have ginger ale or chew ginger. It's really good for you. So that's my tea for today. And it's really bright yellow. I don't know, you can't really see it, but it's a really cool tea. And I'm happy I found that. I got this selection of tea bags from all over the place. There's like Twinings, and this one's, what is it? Heath and Heather. It's a UK company. I've never heard of them, and Puka, of course. And I just pick one every day from my box, and this came up today. So anyway, I hope that you're doing great. Now, we have a topic today that I'm really excited about because it's something that I have just committed myself to doing. And I want to share it with you and, get your feedback and just share this story. First of all, I must tell you that our sponsor for today's show is International Living. Now, International Living is a company that works with ambassadors all around the world to look at places where people might want to retire overseas. Now, you may be thinking, I want to go to a warmer climate, or I want to live a little bit more cheaply. And there's a list of places that they've researched and done all the homework for you. And if you go up to their website, internationalliving.com, and then /60andme, there's a link there where you can just send your email and they'll send you a link to a free report on like 5 places they've chosen that actually are good testing grounds, to go check it out if you want to try out a place for a month or so, see how it feels. But anyway, it's a really good resource, and thank you to International Living. So the topic today, though, is, it's actually all related. It's all about storytelling. And we have a fabulous new blogger. Her name is Mahani Zubudi, and she has a website called Story Sisters. And it's sisters, like SISTAS, sisters, Story Sisters. And she talks about the fact that when we get to be 60 years old, we have got stories to tell. It doesn't have to be this deep, dark secrets and whatever. It's just that things we've done, we can really write some amazing stories. And she's got some reasons that we should consider doing this. But, you've lived a lifetime. You've had a spectrum of emotion. And I know when I first started 60andMe, I actually talked about this and said, that we have lived and loved, we've lost, we've had joy, moments of pain, moments of deep depression, probably, and dark nights of the soul. And we have come through it, and we have survived, resilient, maybe a little bit bumped, a little bruised, and some of those we're still healing. But these are great stories to tell. And, I kept a journal when I was 18 to about, I don't know, maybe 28 or so. And I've now got them all in a suitcase. I'm not sure what to do with them because they really do go into great detail. I was really documenting my life. But it was such a great memory to read back what I did, what I was thinking, and how that girl, that younger woman, has shaped who I am today. So, maybe you've got a decade that's your favorite. You love the 60s or 70s, and then the 80s were the years of building careers, and the 90s of, maybe getting involved in causes that you believed in. Lots of stuff happened, and like the 2000s are like whizzing along, like we're 2018 or 19 now, and it's like, goodness me, what happened? But when you stop to think and do a life review, you can find all the cool things that have happened to you. So pain and pleasure, your life is rich with stories. And this is what Mahani talks about on her site, and encourages women to write their stories. Now, there's a really interesting part to this article that I was totally overwhelmed and fascinated by, and I encourage you to go read it, because what she talks about is some research by Dan Buter. I don't know it's Uri Hassan, a neuroscientist at Princeton University. There's a couple of references she makes here, but it's Uri Hassan, and he did this research showing how the brain of a storyteller connects with the audience. And this is not just abstract. This is how chemically the brain of a storyteller connects with the listener, and how that connection is real. It actually chemically is real. And he talks about, there's a couple of TED Talks that he's done, and you should check them out if you're interested. I actually watched one of his TED Talks, and utterly fascinating, because I'm a storyteller. That's what I do. And in a way, talking to you over this phone and this technology is connecting with your brain. Isn't that a weird thought? But I mean, not when we're not physically close, it's going to be more psychological. But if you're close by someone, you literally can connect brains. Okay, that's maybe a bit abstract, but I believe it because I've watched storytellers. I mean, people like Joseph Campbell or Anne Lamott, people who tell stories. I just feel like totally engrossed when I watch them, and it's quite powerful. It's called brain coupling. This is the name of it. Storytelling strengthens the bonds. And when they do research with the people in the blue zones, the countries in the world where the people live to be 100, 120 plus, they are people who have strong social connections. And that whole thing of telling the stories around the campfire, that really connects them. And that's what many people think is a key to longevity. So it's really fascinating. Storytelling is not just, telling your things you did. It's actually connecting your values, your mores, your way of life with someone else, and especially with grandchildren and children, even your adult children. Get them around the table with your pictures and your stories and just talk to them, or write it down. And this is what I am going to do personally. Now, I decided, I was sitting in Starbucks the other day, and I was thinking, talking to myself, what is stopping you, Margaret, from doing a story about your adventures, your life? And it was like, I just can't be bothered to type it all out. I just can't do that typing thing. And I'm on the computer all the time, and I can't really write longhand on a train or flying, whatever. So I have got a recorder, and I'm going to take that recorder, and I'm going to spend an hour a day, maybe not that much, just talking about what I remember of my life. I'm going to record it into the recorder, and then I'm going to have someone help me type it up, or I'll maybe type it up myself, but I'll figure out a way. But right now, I just feel I want to get it out there, or in the tape recorder. So isn't that, I don't know whether you think that's a good idea, or for you, or maybe you'd rather write it out, but I'm going to try. And these little recorders, by the way, you can do it on your phone. On your phone, there's a voice messages, I think it's called. But I think it's better to have like one where you can record a long message. Like there's a little Olympus, I think, and Sony does one, and there's all kinds of them. And they're not too expensive, under $50. So anyway, I ramble, but I just wanted to share that with you because I think sharing makes you accountable. And now I have to do it, and I'm going to. So finally, one thing Mahani says I love is that telling your stories helps you to become more resilient. How? Well, because when you tell your story and you remember, gosh, that happened, it was so challenging at the time, but I did this and this and this, and I came back from it. You remind yourself how resilient you are, how incredibly strong you are. And I think that's a powerful gift to give yourself. She does a quote here, Dr. Sherry Hamby, who said, people who have found their voice, shared their story, and reaffirmed their values often find a sense of peace and happiness and hopefulness and happiness that they did not have before. I think that's really powerful. And I think that part about reaffirming their values, when you had a challenge in the past, and you had 2-3 ways to respond, this, and this, the one you chose was the one that reinforced your values. It was the one that said, reinforced who you are. You could have done that, but you did this. And that's reinforcing your strength and your resilience. She talks about her own story. Mahani talks about how her, I think she was adopted. Her mother was 18 when she had her. So her mother was very young. Her husband cheated on her. She was left alone with Mahani. Mahani, as a child, was held onto really, really closely by her mom, and that had a ripple effect in her life. And today, with the insight of 60 years, she's got a story to tell. I think that's super, super powerful. Now, she's let her weight go, but maybe some of us are still carrying it on our shoulders. So maybe it's a good time now to think about that, telling that story and letting some of that weight go. You may never publish it. You may never even share it with anybody. It doesn't really matter. What matters is you tell the story. But I do think, getting back to that brain coupling thing, is if you can sit down with someone and tell your story, maybe start a meetup group, telling your story meetup group, where you get women over 50 together and you'll sit down and just go around the table and tell your story. Every week, each person gets 10 minutes and then you just get to know each other. I think that's actually a really good idea for a meetup group. Maybe I'll do one too. But anyway, lots of ideas. I just hope that you're doing okay. I hope that the stories of your life are not haunting you, that they can liberate you by telling them. Mahani, thank you so much for writing this article. I'll leave the link to it, of course, and you can go read it in its complex fullness and learn about brain coupling. All very, very interesting. So before we close, I just want to remind you, I'm counting on you guys to help me. I'm counting on you to keep 60andMe going. We don't charge any membership fee. We don't expect anything in return. But if you have got a few extra dollars a month, I would be honored and love you to join our Patreon community. We started this group specifically so that we could ask people who had a little extra cash, maybe $3 a month, to join us. And we provide exclusive videos. Like I share my personal travel things and my family stories, things that I really can't share with a bigger community. So we're like a little VIP club. And it's really valuable for us too to have that little bit extra to do things like make the lighting here for my videos, so I can work 24 hours a day and dark or light, and other things that we are doing to build the business. So thank you for that. But if you don't have that, please, no problem, go to our content on the website, 60andme.com, our YouTube channel now. We have over almost 70,000 subscribers, and just enjoy this. It's no charge. But if you've got any money at all that you can help us, $3 a month would be great, whatever you can manage, and I would be eternally grateful. Don't do that little request often, but I just at this time wanted to mention it because, it's important. So have a really wonderful day, and tell us, what are you going to write your story? What makes your story special? What have you got to share? Thanks again for being here, everybody. From the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you all, wherever you are. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.